Hi Class 12, last online learning of the week, and today we're going to be focusing on sequencing the events of Macbeth. And I know we've been looking at newspaper reports, but also we do need to bear in mind that a newspaper is in chronological order. It doesn't jump around, otherwise the reader would get extremely confused. So we're going to try and sequence the events of Macbeth and trying to get it into some kind of logical order which would work for a newspaper report. So let's move on. So the RLO is to sequence events. You're going to need that in your literacy books. Success criteria, to sequence a story and write a description for each part of the story. So you're going to have to write a little bit about this one today. So I'm looking at 8 paragraphs describing the events of the story. So let's have a look at a bit of a story map. Let's have a look at this. So here we have Macbeth at the centre. Okay, here's Macbeth here. Macbeth's at the centre. And let's have a look at his story. So everything around the story links directly to Macbeth. Okay, so let's have a look at these 3 first of all. Let's have a look at the 3 witches. So it was right at the start of the story that the 3 witches gave Macbeth the prophecy that he was going to be king. They put that in his mind and he was more than happy to embrace that. Okay, so he had the idea that he was going to become king put into his head by these witches who made the predictions. His friend is Banquo. Now, Banquo was there at the time when the witches were told him the prophecy, and he had doubts about it. However, Lady Macbeth was really into the idea of Macbeth being king. She liked the idea. She was as evil as him, and the idea that he was going to become king, she embraced it. Now, in order to do this, King Duncan had to die. So getting rid of King Duncan was vital to Macbeth's plan. Kills King Duncan, he's one step closer to the throne, but Malcolm and Delabane were potentially problems because they would be the rightful heir to the throne. So when Macbeth goes about killing King Duncan, these 2 are sent away as well of fear of death. Okay, so he's managed to get to become king now. He has Banquo killed because the witches at the start prophesied that he would become, his son, Fleance, would become king, or his line of blood would become royalty. So he had Banquo killed and wanted Fleance killed as well. He escaped though. Now, as well as being king, he had other threats, and one of them being Macduff. He had Lady Macduff and Macduff's son killed. That angered Macduff, and he made an alliance with Malcolm to challenge Macbeth. Macbeth's servant brought the bad news that Macduff was alive, and Macduff then got an army and marched on Macbeth. And at this time, Macbeth thought he was invincible, thought he couldn't be killed, but Macduff had plenty of things going for him, and he actually prophesied some of the things that the three witches prophesied came true with Macduff's attack on Macbeth. Macbeth was killed in battle, and also, as we know earlier in the story, Lady Macbeth died mainly through madness. She was seeing things. So, lots of hauntings and issues that went on. Right, this is what we're going to be looking at today. So if you look at this, as you can see there, Friday the 16th of October, and to sequence events. This is the ending of the story. Okay. Now, this is what you have got to turn into a sequenced event. You can see that there is different images and different descriptions which depict the ending of the story of Macbeth. So you've got to order this story in your literacy books. So this will be a very, very good starting point. And have a read through each of those descriptions and see whether you can get them in the correct order. So date and LO will need to go into your literacy book. You will need this to help you. So you'll have to pause this video and use this as a help. If you want to do it independently, you are more than welcome to, but I do want 8 sections. Okay, I will give you the images as a download, so you can have a look at the images to help you see whether you can get those in the correct order. Okay. And rather like a newspaper, all these events have got to be in the chronological order, going from the first event all the way to the last. So, Malcolm Crown King is the end of the story, and Macbeth is told that Lady Macbeth's death is at the start. So you need to make sure you get it all in the right order. You will need to pause this screen, but the actual writing needs to go into your literacy books. Good luck.